Hi, and welcome to Not the Fuck Gaming Podcast, a podcast where we talk about games and sometimes we don't say fuck. I am William Hououin, and I'm with.
Gruebitten.
And today we have once again a special guest, which is.
Imp.
Him. So, what are you doing here?
I heard this was a very kid-friendly podcast, one where children love to hear about the random thoughts from both you and Gru. And so I thought, let's do this for the children.
Yay! We
Yes,
are the one that thinks about the kids.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, I've only got one warning emails from YouTube about the not kid-friendly we are on this podcast. Just one. So I guess we're doing great. So here we tend to get to know people by talking about the games they've played. So Imp, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing a lot of board games lately. I love Gloomhaven's always a go-to favorite. Definitely a lot of Boss Monster. It's a card game, it's like a side-scrolling 8-bit card game. And then I picked up one here recently that I'm really enjoying, Call to Adventure. It's an experience character building board game. And then one that's really amusing to me is the Red Dragon Inn, which is where you pretend to be a group of adventurers that finished your adventures for the day, and now you're just sitting in the tavern trying to steal each other's gold. But you probably meant video games, didn't you?
Yeah, but it was pretty interesting, though. I don't mind talking about board games. I definitely enjoyed the last one you've talked about, which is kind of not the adventure game. Like, it's just what happens after the adventure. Is that right?
Yeah. So the idea is that you have a party with things like druids and priests and wizards, but you're done for the day and you're in the tavern, and whoever loses all their gold or gets too drunk by the end of the game loses. So it's amusing, especially since I'm a teetotaler, which is an old word for I actually don't even drink. So
all right, okay.
Yeah, but I'm told that if you do drink, that game's even more fun. So
that does sound like a lot of fun. I'm going to have to try that out.
It's the Red Dragon Inn. I think that's what I said, right? Yeah.
That sounds like did you ever, way back when AOL was big, did you ever, there were chat rooms that there were some that were for freeform role playing, and I believe that there were some fantasy themed ones, if I'm remembering correctly, called the Red Dragon Inn.
I don't remember that. But then again, I've never been big into role playing in games. So the one video game I am playing, I don't think I'll ever stop. I'm playing Villagers and Heroes. I know that you guys are playing that too, but I don't have time for any other video games right now. Life is too busy. Work is too busy. So no, I'm just playing Villagers and Heroes. A lot of times I just lurk and chat in there, but I always find that when people role play, it just gets kind of awkward and weird. Like someone will be on one tune and then log on to another character and be like, oh yeah, my sister just logged up, but everyone knows it's them. And it's just kind of awkward.
Yeah, I think Villagers, well, we are all very aware of Villagers and Heroes because this is where we all met, the three of us. And I'm still playing, of course, Villagers and Heroes, but I think that game is kind of too small to do that type of role play where you pretend to be the sister of your other character. Everybody knows, and it is indeed a bit awkward.
People think people are just trying to lie to them or just deceive them and things like that, and then people get angry. And so I don't know. I always felt like if you're going to do role playing in that game, it's better just to get in a guild and do it in guild chat. But
yeah, hard, I find, in online MMOs to do role play because there are times when you need to ask questions about the game mechanics. A lot of times you need to ask and answer questions about the game mechanics. And you need to just drop out a character then. And it's switching in and out of character to try to help people with the game. I started out like with some character ideas when I started out in Villagers and Heroes, and I scrapped it because I found it impossible to maintain character.
Now, when I was playing EverQuest, there was a year of my life where I role-played a cleric that had wanted to be a bard, but his parents insisted that he choose a more reputable profession. And so he carried a mandolin with him everywhere he went and spoke in prose nonstop for a year, did not break character on the prose. That was fun.
Wow.
If you want to hear people talk about role-playing in MMOs, there is this, I'm looking at right now, so I'm trying to buy time. They did 100 episode on that subject, and it was super interesting. I'm not a huge role play guy myself, but it was super interesting to hear those guys talk about it. And I can't remember what it was called, but I'm subscribed, so in the meanwhile, in Villagers and Heroes, for the past quite few months, I've been pretty much lurking chat and doing some city games and stuff. But lately, I've been wanting to play more. But I'm not a type of alt person. So I'm planning to do a rebirth on my main character in Villagers and Heroes. So that's going to be
intense.
What?
Yeah.
That's intense. I mean, you're 95.
Yeah, I know.
You already have all your reputation in Blight. I mean, that's a big step.
Yep, and I've been postponing this for quite some time, but yeah, I think I want to do it. Experience the story again. It's been a long while since I've done any quest. I'm still hoping for that that Black Thrush storyline to be completed. It's been like 3 years that it's not done.
Yeah,
anyway.
We need to know.
I think they're probably annoyed with me because I do play a lot of alts, and I have played that main quest all the way through where you get to the end of that Black Thrush line. I don't know, probably dozens of times, and I think I bug report that the ending doesn't continue like every single time I get to the end of it, and so that stack of bugs is probably in a pile somewhere, never to be looked at.
but it's fair. It's kind of weird the way they did it. I don't want to be too harsh, but it's kind of weird to stop there and then do the Lumineer storyline.
Plus spoilers.
Okay,
I mean, I got to the Lumineer storyline, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Spoilers! I can't say it here because it'll totally give it the spoilers. But I'm like, well, that just ruined part of the whole drama of the Black Thrush storyline for me.
Yes.
Well, there's a lot of flyover content between like 45 and 60, right? And I always thought it'd be a fun project, and I really wanted to sit down and do this, but I really don't have the time. And I think it's going to be a multi-person project anyway, but sit down at some point, map out all of the flyover zones that are not part of main quest, all the quest lines, all the non-PCs, and then basically start working on giving them new scripts that fit in to adding in the additional pieces that are missing. And then basically submitting that as a big proposal, like, hey, if you just update these non-PCs dialogue and add some new quest bubbles, and voila, you have it.
Yeah, I get what you mean. Yeah, but it's quite the undertaking.
Which is why it's probably not done.
Yeah. So I found the YouTube channel that talks about role playing in MMORPG. It's called, and I'm a bit ashamed to have forgotten it because it's quite easy. It's the RP MMO Radio. So I'm gonna put a link in the description and on the screen. So if you're curious about what role playing in MMOs can be, there's 100 episodes of about 1 hour each to listen to. Skip the first one because it's awful. They add some huge, when you're both in the same room and you hear the other in the mic and there's a delay. It's very bad. But starting from episode 2, there's a lot of stuff to be listened to, and it's great. Highly recommended. Just for the curiosity of how people do it. They're quite serious about what they do. Anyway, that was my plug for today.
Hopefully they pay you for that. If you get paid, can I have some?
Yes, you can have some of my $0 pay for doing this. No, I really like the main guy, Ashen Phoenix. He's a great guy. Then he tried to do a podcast, but stopped after like a few episodes. I like the guy. He's working for the American Postal Delivery. And yeah, he's great. He's great to listen to. But anyway, enough of that. Gruebitten, what have you been playing since last time we spoke? Are you still on that Chimera Land thing?
Yes, I'm still in Chimera Land, and I looked up the pronunciation of Chimera, and it's actually Chimera.
Oh, Chimera. Well,
yeah.
I mean, if you're a fan of pronunciation, I guess you wouldn't be listening to this podcast because I'm kind of garbage. But all right, but it's good to know.
Well, I've been saying Chimera Land for months now, so
yeah, it's Chimera Land.
Yes, it's Chimera Land.
All right, the more we know.
I looked it up because I was talking in my the clan chat with people, and they were saying Chimera, and I'm like, Chimera? Huh. So I looked it up, and guess what? Yeah, they were right. It's Chimera Land. So, yes, I'm still playing that. I'm starting to feel a little bit of burnout on it, ready to move on, do something else. But it's still been a lot of fun. I did make a small purchase in it. I am also running up to the point where, yeah, I'm seeing where the big money comes in there, where they get their bucks from in the free to play.
Yeah. How many hours do you think you've played? Just to give us an idea, like, is it more like 10 hours, 50 hours, 100 hours?
I have no idea at all because I'm not good at keeping track of those, but it's a lot. It's a lot.
Okay, so
I would say definitely over 50 hours because
good.
This week I've kind of been on vacation, and so I've been doing some all-day gaming sessions.
Yeah, okay. So we're talking probably near 100 hours.
Maybe.
Yeah. And so what is the paywall?
It's definitely with the pets, I'd say. Leveling up your pets, getting the best pets. Oh, also outfits.
Yeah, of course.
And there's a very sneaky paywall for personal power mechanics hidden in there, in that they have, it's actually a really cool idea that I like. There's a like a journal of all these scenic spots, beacons to unlock, and fish to fish, pets to capture, monsters to kill, plants to gather, trees to chop, minerals to mine. Pretty much everything you can do, there's a little entry for it in this thing to like check off. Hey, I've done this in the game. And you collect, So if you look under fish that you fished, I can see which ones I've caught and which ones I have yet to catch. But for each one that you catch, you get a tiny little boost to something like +2 to your attack rating, or not direct attack, armor pierce. That's what it goes to, armor pierce. Or +10 to your carrying capacity, or +2 to your defense, or something like that. So they do include items that are premium only, like under the outfit. Most of the outfits are premium only, and yeah, you do get a slight bonus for collecting all the premium outfits.
Well, sounds pretty standard free-to-play stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, seems it's still a complete game. I've tried it, all right? I've played, but it was not a fair try because I've played maybe 15 minutes. But yeah, I didn't feel it like at all. I don't think it's for me. But yeah.
To be fair, it does not seem like your type of game. There are stories, but they're like little self-contained things. You have to search out the NPC in the world and then talk to the NPC, and then they'll give you a little clue, and then you go out and do their little quest. But they're all one-off stories.
Yeah, I like to think of myself as somebody who enjoys sandbox and no hand-holding and stuff. But in the end, I think I like a clear storyline and a path to follow. So I guess it depends on what type of games, but
Oh, and you'll love this. After they give you the quest, you can go ahead and kill them for their loot drop.
Yeah.
You can still do the quest and turn it into another version of them later.
All right. Well, fair enough, I guess. Anything else on Chimera Land you would want to say?
No. I mean,
have you been? Yeah, go ahead.
Like I said, I'm pretty much getting burned out of it at this point. I'm ready to go for something else now.
All right. Anything in mind?
Not yet. No. I was thinking about going back to Villagers and Heroes for a little bit.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I've been looking all day yesterday. I've lost by day. Like, it was a complete failure. I'm looking for an action. If anybody's listening to this and have an idea, please tell me. I wish it would be on mobile because I'm going back to work and will have less time to play at home. I'm looking for some type of action RPG where there's a lot of lore and secrets all over the place, and you can explore and find stuff, but I also want it to have a story. It's quite rare. What I'm looking for is something in the line of The Ninth Dawn, Hyperlight Drifter, Dismantle. I've tried Exiled Kingdoms, but while it seems to be pretty good, the dev can't update the game anymore on iOS. Seems it's too old or something. Anyway, anybody have an idea of an action RPG with lots of secrets on mobile? Tell me. I'll be very happy to look into it. Anyway, that was my whole day yesterday.
Yeah, the thing is, when it comes to games, and one of the reasons why I think, again, mentioned the busy thing, but I spent so long just trying to find V&H, right? I went through a lot of really, really crappy MMOs for the tablet, and the tablet was, like you said, a tablet's a requirement for me because the days of sitting in front of a desktop computer unmoving for hours on end are gone. That's not my priority in life. I need to be able to have the flexibility to set things down, walk away from them, deal with the kids, et cetera, et cetera. But all of the MMOs that I was finding for the tablet, they were all these, autoplay things. You'd click the quest and it would just automatically go through things, and or they were just so forceful on the randomness to progress, or the money needed to progress, that they were just not fun. They were just complete cash grabs. That if you wanted to make your character any better, you had to rely on random things that came through, things that you had to buy every day and things of that nature. And
those games are basically casino, but with a graphical interface. That's
oh my
that's
gosh,
pretty
you're
much
so right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much what they are. I'm not talking about every game on mobile or every MMO on mobile, but the autoplay, auto battle, auto path MMOs are just, they are casinos. The goal is to sell you loot boxes. That's it. Yep.
And that's never been my experience with B&H. Is there's been no randomness to the progression, nothing that I had to buy to progress. There are things I did buy because it made more enjoyable, but for that, I mean, it has my loyalty, and I just love that it doesn't require something of me every single day to make it fun.
Well,
yes, it's more of an old school MMO. That's
I think
for sure.
Gru's going to disagree with me. Hang on.
Well, I was going to say I agree with you for the most part, but I think that's why I'm really the direction some things have taken, that where there's the exclusive rewards with super hard combat where you have to have top tier equipment. Well, how do you get the top tier equipment? Random. It's not necessarily a matter of skill. It's a matter of having the good luck to get the stuff.
No, but it's also not pay for random. Like you can't shell out money in order to better improve your chances of getting that.
That's true, but you still need to shell out the hours to just run the RNG and hopefully not have really bad luck at RNG.
I agree that I would like the gear to be less random, and to a certain extent, I would like to have less gear that drops. It's almost like Diablo, the action RPG, where you get loot all the time. And I wish I wish that when I get a new weapon for my character, it would be less frequent than every 12 seconds.
I would be fine with that if we got good stuff. I mean, just getting trash every 12 seconds means your bags get full, or what most people do is they just leave it on the floor.
Yep, that's what I do now. I just don't pick them up.
I leave it on the ground. I don't pick it up.
Yep.
It's less trouble than to take it and then sell it or
dismantle it or something.
Yeah. I don't even take the time.
Yeah.
Just leave it there. Yep.
That's what pretty much everyone does. And I think that kind of is a red flag that something's broken if people are leaving the gear just lying there.
Yeah, true. But at least you can't pay to buy good gear. So I think that was the point.
Yes, that's true.
At the start.
Very true.
I think that would break the game.
Definitely. I agree. I think that, yeah. Totally agree.
All right. I can't remember what we were talking about before that. Oh, you've tried a bunch of. We were talking about finding games we want to play, and Imp was saying he tried like many MMOs on his tablets. I did the same. I played quite a few garbage games.
Same here. Yeah, I remember back when I started playing games on my phone, it was like Candy Crush was all the rage, and Flappy Birds was considered a great game. And wow, the phone games have come a long way.
Yeah, there's true games now too. I've played
Yeah.
Dismantle lately. It's a full-fledged game. I spent 41 hours on it. No microtransaction, offline single-player game with a bunch of stuff to do. It was great. It was a very real, quote unquote real game. It was not a mobile game like we used to get in back in the days.
Oh, I replayed one of my favorite games of all time, Myst.
Oh,
When
yeah.
Myst came
Yeah.
out, I remember it used to take a top-tier computer to run, and now it's running on my iPad beautifully. It's amazing.
Yeah. Indeed.
Well, one of my favorite games from back in the day, the graphics are not, I mean, it was made, 8-bit, so on and so forth, but it was like shareware for the Mac. And the Spiderweb games came out with, I think, I'm going to forget it now.
Jeff Vogel is the dev of those games like Avernum.
Avernum, that's right. And
Yeah.
Avernum it wasn't the original name. It was like, something like Escape from the Pit and things like that. And I ate those games up. I've played them ever since, and they were released on the Apple store, and put those on my iPad and played them all again too. They're still just as good as I remember.
They sound interesting. What were they like?
So go ahead, William.
Oh, well, it's like indie Baldur's Gate. This is what I would say. I don't know, Imp. I think you have more experience than me.
Well, it's like, it's an RPG, so to speak, but it's you create a party of 4 or 5 characters. You can put a warrior and a priest and a wizard and a rogue, but you can customize the stats as they level up, and find them better gear as you go, and you explore a massive world with quests that you can do or not do, and work your way through the storyline. And the storyline's really what makes it awesome. But you've got to customize your party as they grow in order for you to survive tougher and tougher challenges. And they made like 3 or 4 of these things, all in the Avernum series. And they highly recommend them, Gru.
Yeah. Well, maybe they'll port them to iOS.
No, they did. That's what
They
I'm saying.
are.
Oh, they did?
They're on the tablet now.
Yep. I'll put a link of Jeff Vogel's work on the description with links to the App Store.
His games used to come on like a disc that would be attached to like a Macintosh magazine or something like that, and you could put it in your computer and play to a certain part. And then talk about paywall, right? Like the entire edge of the map would disappear, and it would be like, okay, if you want the rest, call this phone number and give us your credit card number, and we'll give you the code to unlock it. I mean, this is like way old school, right? So
wow.
Yeah, those are great games. If you want they call that like CRPG, like computer RPG, like in between Ultima and Baldur's Gate, along those lines. They're great. I've only played 1 or 2, but I had a great time. All right. Guess we'll go to our next subject for today, which is gaming burnout. Have you ever experienced a gaming burnout?
Yes, definitely. Imp, you?
I think so. I also think it kind of comes in waves at times too, and sometimes you're done with the game. Others, I think you kind of wait in anticipation for something to change or something to bring the magic back, right? But I think that gaming burnout can also mean different things to different people. Sometimes you burn out and you just never ever come back to it, and you never look at it again. Other games you might be able to set aside and come back to after a time. I would say to a degree, I'm kind of at gaming burnout right now, but partially out of I have no desire to go look for new games or other games. I'm just kind of done with computer games for the most part. I enjoy the social aspect and the friendships that are built out of V&H, and I'll log in every day to chat with certain people in whispers or watch chat or lurk and things of that nature. But I'm not necessarily going to go try and finish a quest every single day.
Yeah. I think it's interesting you said about how some burnout is just for a period of time, and then some you never go back to it. Usually my burnouts are I will eventually return to it, but there are some like Minecraft. I used to be huge into Minecraft. That was pretty much all I ever played for many, many, many years. And I can't even pinpoint what exactly. I can pinpoint the moment it changed, but I still played for a while after that. But I can't pinpoint what exactly finally just. But I don't think I really will ever go back to it.
My kids love Minecraft, and they play it nonstop if we let them.
Well, I don't think any game is meant to be played forever. Games as a service change that, but if you go back a bit before, you would play a game and there was an ending and you could play it again or just move on to another game. Nowadays, it's you invest yourself in a game and it becomes a part of your identity. You just have to go look at Josh Strife's videos about worst MMO ever. He's playing an MMO. It can even be a good MMO. It's not that the MMO is bad, but he's looking for flaws and stuff that he don't like. It's almost a comedy show at this point. But you just go to the comment section of those videos, and the fans of the games are very, very mad at this because they're playing that game every day, and they're playing it for the past 5 years. And when somebody says their game isn't good, it's like the person said they aren't good, because the games, there's no line between the games and the person.
Yeah.
Full
I don't know
disclosure.
if I'm making sense, but
Full disclosure, William here is a Patreon supporter of Joshua Strife Hayes, right?
I am.
There you go, right? But I loved him. You introduced me to him, and I used to love watching every single thing he put out. All of his old stuff was fantastic. All of his new stuff was fantastic. And then he did the Villagers and Heroes video, part of that worst MMO series, right? And he didn't even try to give it a chance. He just wanted to get the views, and I've stopped watching him. Done. I'm done with him.
Yeah. Well, it's fine. I'm not offended.
I'm done. I'm offended.
Well, you can be. I'm not.
I'm proving your
offended
point,
that you
man.
are.
I mean, those comments, right? I mean, rage.
Yeah.
I guess for me, I found the things he said that were true kind of funny, but I didn't like his like general insulting of the game. Well, he made a lot of like vague insults to just make it seem more negative than he actually found negative things, and I thought that was kind of weak.
Yeah. Well, I can't disagree with that. I see those videos as a purpose for comedy. It's to laugh. It's not.
Yes. Like I said, I didn't have so much of an issue with the things that he found that were actual flaws, but some of the things, like he got like one or two things actually wrong. And there's another thing, the bounty. the sheep bounty in the beginning areas. He's like, who put a bounty on a sheep? And he acted like this was like a negative of the game. I'm like, dude, you're totally missing the point. That's hilarious that you have this deadly sheep that you're supposed to kill.
Yeah, true. I didn't remember that. It's been like, what, 2 years now?
And yet the fire in my heart still burns.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. But yeah, anyway, I think that a lot of the burnout comes from the fact that people have trouble moving on from the game because the game is meant to be played for a very long time. The devs of those online games wants to milk them for as long as they can because making a game is hard.
Yeah.
But maintaining a game is not as hard. At least I would think.
I don't know, but I would assume so.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever had any huge gaming burnout. I've left some games. Would you believe if I told you that I've left Final Fantasy XIV, the critically acclaimed MMORPG for villagers and heroes?
Yes.
This is kind of crazy to think about, but yeah. But gaming burnout? Not really. I've always been playing games. Sometimes I'm getting in those weird moods, like right now, where I'm trying to find that game. I have something in mind I want to play, but I can't seem to find it. So anyway.
Sometimes I just want to engage with the world a little bit more, and sometimes I don't.
Well, it's fine. I don't have anything else to say, I guess. I didn't add that much.
Well, I think one of the reasons why burnout is a thing is I think in life sometimes we get unbalanced. And you all know me, but I've always had a guild that I run in every game I play. And the motto for that guild has always been real lives, real people, and real priorities. And the message I want every person in the guild to hear and to understand is that we're not expecting a commitment from you to be in the game endlessly. We're not expecting you to make the game your life. We're expecting the game to be part of your life, for you to develop real friendships. But ultimately, you have a real life outside the game, and that's far more important than any game you play. And if you're prioritizing any game over what you need to do in your life, then your life in some way is broken. And some of us have used games to hide from the harsh realities of our own lives, or to get away from things that are depressing us, or to try and forget some troubles. But ultimately, the game cannot replace your life. You've got to live your life. You've got to deal with the priorities of life. And every one of us are real people with real problems. And if we could just see each other for that in every game, I think our game experiences would be much better.
True. Hear, hear.
Next point is a point that we might have some advices or not. Marriage. I can't.
Marriage is what brings us together today.
So that the wedding systems in games, innocent fun or inviting drama? Have you ever been married in a game?
I've got a lot to say about this, but Gru, you go first, please.
I think I did get married in a game once to my daughter.
Oh, well, that's not too bad. No,
Yeah,
not
it
much
was.
drama can
I'm
come out of
trying
that.
to remember. I can't remember which game it was, but you got some sort of bonus thing from it, and so she wanted someone to marry her. So yeah, I married her.
William, if you do not bring some banjo music onto this podcast when it's released later, I am going to be so disappointed in you.
What music do you
But-
want?
Banjo music. When Gru
Okay,
comes back on when you're doing your post editing, you got to bring some of that banjo music on for that part right there. I mean, that's epic.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll try to
okay.
do that.
But most of the time, I steer clear of romances, especially any real romances and marriage things in games. I have been involved in some major drama that's lost me some friendships in certain games because of in-game romances blossoming between friends. They were both married in real life.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. In online games, when there's a wedding system, it often comes with advantages. Like in Final Fantasy XIV, when you were married to someone, you had a special ring, and it was a teleportation ring. So you could teleport to your spouse or wife when you were together. And it was pretty nice because there was a flying system in the game, but you had to unlock it through some quest. But if you were married, well, then the person could go up to the place the quest is, and you could teleport to them without unlocking the whole flying thing. It's an example. There's many other utilities that was brought with that, but so I feel you have two types of person: the one that get married to have those advantages, and those who are into real romances, and this is where the drama starts.
I remember in EverQuest, you could actually ask a GM, a game master, to marry two tunes. And during that year I mentioned previously, where I was playing the I don't know if it was cleric, priest, or whatever, but that only spoke in prose, I was actually asked to marry two people, and so I did the entire wedding in rhyme for them. And I saw lots of drama from those things. There was always people that were like, well, I'm just married. This is my in-game spouse, but then they had real spouses outside of games, and then just it led to so much drama and problems. And I never saw the appeal of it, especially in games where it didn't actually give you a true bonus, like you're describing, William. I mean, what was the point of doing that aside from bringing drama into your life?
Yeah, if there's no bonus, even in Final Fantasy, I've made quite a bit of close friends, and at some point we considered it, but for, I would say, ethical reason, I never, because I am married in real life, I never took the jump. I felt it would be just weird, so I didn't do it. Even though it was really just for the bonuses, even for that, I couldn't bring myself to engage with that mechanic.
I found it much less dramatic to simply ask my wife to join me in the games that I am playing, and she has very often done so. And that's far less dramatic than building a new romantic interest in a game and then ending up with real drama in my own life. So no, thank you.
Yeah, well,
definitely.
I just wanted to clarify that I think that having a marriage system invites drama, but I'm not necessarily like being like, oh, dating in games is bad. I do think it causes drama, but on the other hand, I think that people will be people and people will be attracted to each other, and if things happen, that's between the people. But I don't think that encouraging people to treat a game as a dating platform is a good idea.
No, it's not. Yeah. Why do you think the devs are putting those wedding mechanics in? I mean, they can sell it. In Final Fantasy, you had to pay. It was like $20, something like that.
They're very popular.
Yeah, so it's put in games because people want to do it.
Yeah. They added a system to Utopia recently.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Because all the players were dating each other anyways, and oh my gosh, the drama. That's actually the game where all the drama happened between a couple friends of mine. So at that point there wasn't even a marriage system in the game. It was just people being human.
Yeah, because you don't need a system to do stuff like that. I mean, in Villagers and Heroes, if we want to, we can do some type of wedding. There's
And
you do a little flyer with a date and a time, and
yeah,
you can do it. One of your guildmates or something can do the ceremony, quote unquote.
and I don't think it's a bad thing to
I've never
meet
seen
and
it,
date
though.
someone online. That's perfectly fine. But I don't think it's a good thing to mix up a game with a dating site, because that's what creates problems. And I think that putting in the dating system encourages mixing up those two platforms.
Yeah, I don't think it's bad either. I know 2 or 3 couples that actually met in game and now they live together and have kids. And it seems it's working. So it's not inherently a bad thing. But yes, there's a lot of drama that people will make drama with everything anyway, but it's definitely a big door to go into drama stuff. Relationship is hard, and the worst thing is when people engage in relationships in games while they have one in real life. This is kind of scummy.
Yeah, I agree there too. And yeah, that opinion of mine is what got me in trouble with my friends.
It's just in game. It doesn't count. Yeah, well.
Well, it's like, really, whose opinion counts is whoever's in the relationship. And I was not in the relationship. So my opinion on that one doesn't actually count.
Anything else to say on that?
Not for me.
I object.
All right.
Wait, that's supposed to be during the ceremony. Never mind.
Oh.
So, are we going to wrap up?
Yep. Are we done?
With the marriage topic?
Yeah. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, no. I mean, you're supposed to rush in during the wedding ceremony and yell, "I object!" And never mind. This is the wrong place, obviously, for that joke.
You do that in court usually, no?
It's a trope in marriage comedies here, I think.
All right.
Like in Shrek, the movie Shrek. They're listening at the door, waiting for the appropriate moment to run in.
Man, it's been a while.
I don't remember Shrek.
All right, I have no objections to ending this part of the conversation. Please.
All right.
Put me out of my misery.
Okay, I'll do.
Oh.
So this is a gaming podcast, but we take the occasion to talk about very serious society question. And this week, it's gonna be this question: what's better, fluffy cats or short-hair cats? What do you think?
I don't know, Gru, which one tastes better?
Why?
Well, I guess the short-haired would
Are you
taste
talking about as
better.
pets or for dinner?
Well, for dinner, of course.
Of course.
Oh.
What
Right.
do you do?
Good.
What do you do? I mean,
I have never tasted cat, but I
you
should
never
think that
went
they
to
would taste the
KFC or
same.
something?
I would hazard a guess to say that your cat has often tasted you trying to decide whether or not you are worth eating.
One of them, no. What the other one, yes. The other one likes to lick me a lot, and I hate it.
I rest my case. You better eat it before it eats you. It's just biding its time.
It's okay. I've got her well fed.
Well, all right. I guess this is it for this. I almost said this week. It's not a weekly podcast. It's a when we can podcast. So this is it for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed it. Any final words?
Bananas.
All right.
Potato salad.
Oh yeah, potato salad for our Discord. We have a Discord server. The link will be in the description. And Ishan, my moderator, will be very proud of me for plugging the Discord right at the end of the podcast when 80% of the people stopped listening, according to my analytics. But anyway, for those listening, we have a Discord channel. Come hang out, ask questions, talk about games. So anyway, Imp, very happy to have had you on the podcast. I hope you'll be able to come back at some point in the future.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Gruebitten, as always, thanks for the talk.
Yay! Thank you.
So that's it. Have a nice rest of your day, people. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moo.
Of course, you had to do that.